All right, let's dive right in today. We're taking a closer look at a pretty cool feature in SAP. It's all about streamlining your sales order process, item proposals.
Or you might know them as product proposals.
Exactly. Yeah, those. So we've got some great SAP resources to help guide us. And the idea here is to really give you a solid grasp of how these things work
Yeah,
and how they can make a real difference in terms of boosting your efficiency and ensuring consistency.
you got it. We want to make sure you understand just how much easier this can make your life,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to those recurring orders that you deal with all the time. We're going to break down what these item proposals are all about and how to put them to work.
So let's start with the basics. What exactly is an item proposal in SAP?
Well, think of it this way. It's basically like a pre-made shopping list for your customers.
Oh, okay.
It's a list of all the materials, the products they usually order, already set up with the right quantities. It's basically a template for those repeat purchases.
Makes sense.
So instead of starting from scratch every single time, you get an order from a customer who always buys the same stuff.
Right.
You can just grab this predefined list and boom, you're good to go.
Like a shortcut.
Exactly. And SAP uses the terms item proposal and product proposal kind of interchangeably. They both mean the same thing. And you'll typically see the document type MS associated with these. But here's something interesting. For those of you working in SAP S/4HANA, you actually have the option to create your own custom document types
Oh, wow.
if you need to. You can do that using transaction code VOV8. This is especially handy if you've got some very specific processes in place or you're dealing with some, I don't know, unique product lines or something like that.
Interesting. So more flexibility there. So, okay, let's say I'm convinced I want to set up some of these item proposals. Where do I even begin? How do I get started with creating one?
Okay, so first things first, you got to get to the creation screen. Now, the easiest way for most folks is probably just to type in the transaction code VA51 right into that SAP command field.
Right into the command field.
Yep. But if you happen to be using the SAP Fiori Launchpad, you can also just find and click the Create Item Proposal tile. They both take you to the same starting point.
Okay. So two paths to the same destination.
Oh,
All right. And then once I'm there, on that creation screen, what kind of information does SAP need from me to get this thing going?
right. So on that initial screen, you'll be asked to plug in some key organizational data. First off, you got the item proposal type. Now, this is usually going to be MS, unless you've got a custom type set up.
Okay.
Then you need to tell SAP which sales organization is handling this. That's basically the part of your company responsible for making the sale.
Makes sense.
You also need to define the distribution channel. This is how your products actually reach your customers. Like, are we talking direct sales?
Yeah.
Through wholesalers,
Right.
that kind of thing.
Right.
And finally, there's the division. This is just a way to group your products or services together. Think of it as setting the scene, providing some context for this proposal within the bigger picture of your business structure.
Gotcha. Laying the groundwork. So what happens after I've entered all that initial info?
All right. So once you save all that initial data, SAP is going to do its thing and assign a unique number to your item proposal. And get this number is automatically linked to your customer's data in the sales view.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, it's a real time saver. Because later on, when you're creating a sales order for that specific customer, the system can easily pull up this pre-configured proposal. No more hunting around.
Oh, I see.
It's all right there.
It knows exactly what they usually order.
Exactly. And it's a good idea to give your proposal a descriptive number, something that makes sense to you. And also a more detailed description for your own reference. Oh, and don't forget to set the valid from and valid to dates. This tells the system when this proposal is active.
Makes sense. So it's not just floating around forever.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got the framework set up. We've linked it to the customer. Now, how do we tell SAP exactly what goes into this proposal, like the specific materials and quantities?
All right, so that's where the real magic happens. On the next few screens, you're going to enter the material number for each item you want to include in the proposal. Simple as that.
Okay.
And, of course, you need to tell SAP the standard quantity that your customer usually orders for each item. Once you've added all the necessary materials and their typical quantities, all you got to do is hit that Save button.
Okay.
And that's it. You'll get a confirmation message that says, Item Proposal XXXX has been saved, where XXXX is that unique number that the system assigned.
Nice. Pretty straightforward. So just to sum things up, item proposals are basically these ready-to-go lists of frequently ordered items that you can just pop into a sales order. which sounds like it can save a ton of time and reduce errors, especially when you're dealing with your regular customers.
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head. It's all about making things more efficient and keeping things consistent. Just imagine if you have a customer who always orders the same 10 items, you could go from spending, I don't know, maybe a few minutes entering that order manually down to literally seconds by using an item proposal.
Yeah, that's huge. And so much less room for mistakes.
You got it.
And here's something to think about. Could you be even more proactive? I mean, could you start identifying those consistent ordering patterns for your key clients and set up these item proposals even before they place their next order?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, why not?
It seems like putting in that little bit of effort up front could pay off big time. Not only are you going to make things more efficient internally, but you're also creating a smoother, faster ordering experience for your customers, which, can make them pretty happy.
For sure. Happy customers, less work for you. It's a win-win.
Exactly. And it really makes you wonder, what other areas in your business could benefit from this kind of templated approach? Where else could you streamline things and make life easier for everyone? Just something to consider as you go about your day. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
You got it. Thanks for having me.
All right, let's dive right in today. We're taking a closer look at a pretty cool feature in SAP. It's all about streamlining your sales order process, item proposals.
Or you might know them as product proposals.
Exactly. Yeah, those. So we've got some great SAP resources to help guide us. And the idea here is to really give you a solid grasp of how these things work
Yeah.
and how they can make a real difference in terms of boosting your efficiency and ensuring consistency.
You got it. We want to make sure you understand just how much easier this can make your life.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to those recurring orders that you deal with all the time. We're going to break down what these item proposals are all about and how to put them to work.
So let's start with the basics. What exactly is an item proposal in SAP?
Well, think of it this way. It's basically like a pre-made shopping list for your customers.
Oh, okay.
It's a list of all the materials, the products they usually order, already set up with the right quantities. It's basically a template for those repeat purchases.
Makes sense.
So instead of starting from scratch every single time,